Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. I want to make sure I get the name right. What's the name again? I want to make sure I get the name right. Would you, Representative?
It's Mack like Mack truck.
Thank you, Representative Mack. Representative Mack, is there a reason that you know of why you feel that everyone who is accepting government funds should be tested for drugs?
This bill doesn't require everyone who's receiving government funds to be tested for drugs.
But right now, from looking at your bill, it says randomly. So if there is 50 people standing there, and you say, hypothetical, did you know? And you say that we're going to test you all for drugs. Okay, you're not saying I'm going to test John, Mary, Betty, Joe, whoever. You say you all going to be tested, and then you go through. Did you know? And then you randomly pull out somebody. Do you think that that's fair, that you pull out several people and you leave several people in? What would make you think that that's fair for the ones who are being asked to be tested?
Well, it's fair because they've signed the consent form and agreed to be tested. So I don't know how much fair you can get in that.
Well, they're signing the signature because of the fact that they're not going to receive any funds unless they do sign, and
Right.
I think that's unfair.
When you go to the DMV to sign up for your driver's license,
This don't have
and
anything to do with the DMV.
I'm answering, Ms. Norton, I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question.
It's a
When
whole
you go to the
different program.
DMV and you sign up for your driver's license,
can't use
and they
that.
say that you need to sign here and you have these conditions,
That's
what you
everybody.
do. This is the same thing.
No, that's everybody. Everybody that go to the DMV, you have to sign to get your license. But what you're talking about being drug tested, is not everybody that signed. You're choosing who it is that you want to test, and that's different. That's totally different. So I'm asking
I
you
disagree
this.
with you.
Let me ask you this right here. How much money are we talking about that each individual is receiving right now for this program?
As I told Ms. Barrow, the average is about $192 a month.
$192, and you're asking people to be targeted. You're asking people to be labeled, did you know, to be drug tested for $150, I would say $150 to $190, that you're asking people to be drug tested. We're not talking about $500, did you know, nor $1,000. We're talking about, we're wasting time, did you know, today, talking about $150 or $199.
I would never think anything you say in this chamber, Ms. Norton, is a waste of time.
Representative Norton, the gentleman is out of time. Would you give him an additional 5 minutes?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Pro Tem. 5 minutes. You know, did you know? It's amazing how we have education, higher ed, we have retirement, we have a number of major issues, and we're talking about $150 and $199. And we're talking about randomly, did you know, picking out people to be tested. That's not fair. Let me ask you this question. Are this bill related to the other bill that came last year before? Are you all working together on this bill?
Who is you all?
Well, you know who I'm talking about. You was in the paper with it. So you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You was in the paper with it, and you gonna ask me who?
No one has assisted me on this bill. I don't know the individual that you speak of. I met him the first time the other morning.
Yeah, and did you all discuss this bill?
The only author of this bill
Did you all discuss this bill the other morning?
No.
You all said and drunk coffee and you didn't discuss this bill? Would you put your hand on the Bible, sir?
If you get one, I'll do it.
Somebody bring me a Bible right quick. I'm going to take it up there and see if he'll put his hand. You got a Bible? Somebody bring me a Bible. I'm going to see. Let me ask you this question, because he's not going to touch the Bible.
Yeah, let's stick to the questions. Thank you.
Let me ask you this question here. why is it that you brought this bill?
Because like I've said before, and for 15 years I worked in the petrochemical industry.
You work for about?
In the petrochemical industry.
In a chemical
plants.
place. Okay.
And there was not a job that I worked on that I wasn't asked and required to take a drug screen.
Let me ask you this question.
I didn't have a, you asked me why, and I'm telling you.
I want to cut you off because I need to ask you something right there.
That's fine. I didn't have a problem doing that. And I didn't have a problem then, nor do I have a problem now with paying taxes and funding a program that I know that specific purpose is being used for its intended purpose. However, I do believe that we have a significant problem in Louisiana when you're dealing with narcotics.
Let me ask you this question.
I also believe that we need to take measures to prevent that type of abuse.
I don't have
And
3 minutes, so don't give me no long answers. Give me some short answers.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. When you filed to run for state representative,
There you go.
when you filed to run for state representative,
Yes, ma'am.
did they require you to take a drug test? You said
No.
there was no job that you had applied for that you didn't take a drug test.
They may should have, but they did not.
I didn't hear you. What was the
They
answer?
may should have, but they did not.
No. I asked you.
Because I don't know what I was thinking when I signed
No,
up.
I asked you. I don't know what you was thinking either. I still don't know what you're thinking. So you did not take a test for this job.
No, ma'am.
You did. Do you think you should take one now?
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
No, but do you think you should?
Again, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yes or no? Do you think you should?
Considering the decisions that we make, probably so.
Probably so, but you're still not saying you think you will.
I will.
The other thing is, why is it we're only thinking about persons who are getting government assistance? We have Medicaid, Medicare. We have any programs that the government do for veterans, for senior citizens, for TOPS, for people who are military. Do you think those people should be tested for drugs because they are receiving government money? Do you think they should be tested?
The reason it's
Yes or no?
Well, I'm trying to answer your question.
But don't give it to me long because he gonna holler in a minute. We ain't got but 2 minutes.
The reason that I limited it to FITAP is because I was very concerned about someone's benefits being suspended and them having children. Or them maybe having someone elderly that depends on them.
I'm not hearing you.
That's why the food stamps.
Talk in the mic because I'm not hearing
That's
you.
why food stamps is not included, and that's why Medicaid is not included.
That's not what I asked
That's not
you.
what the purpose of the bill is. The purpose of the bill is not to punish people and take away their benefits.
That's not what I asked
The purpose of the
you.
bill is to say, look, if you got a problem, get some help, and your benefits aren't going to be cut off.
What do you think about the people that you're testing that has never did drugs? Don't you think that they feel unfair?
No,
They feel like they've been unjustly treated?
I believe the complete opposite.
Have never taken a drug?
I believe the
I never
complete
used a
opposite.
drug?
Because I believe those people that are getting those benefits and doing what they're supposed to do with that money are going to feel much better when the people who are
But you
receiving
can't
those
decide that
are
because
receiving-
that's not you.
Well, ma'am, you asked me the
Representative
question.
Norton, please let him answer the question.
You asked me the
Let
Let
question.
Representative Seabaugh answer the question.
You asked me the question, and so that's what I would think that person would do. They would actually feel better about receiving the benefits and taking the test.
But you can't
because
say
then-
that.
Because
you can't say that because you're not them. And the
But
people
you
who are
asked me
not
the
on
question.
drugs, have never done drugs. You can't say what those people gonna feel. That's unfair.
Ms.
That's
Norton-
unjust.
Ms. Norton, I apologize, but if you don't like the answers to my question, then please don't ask me the question.
No, your answers is not correct because you're
Representative
saying
Norton,
the
we're
wrong
out of time.
thing.
Would you give the gentleman an additional 1 minute?
Yes, sir. I give
Okay.
you one, and let me ask you the question, and don't answer me long because we got 1 minute. Answer short. How would you feel if you were being tested, you were randomly pulled out, and you were tested for something that you've never done and that you don't do? How would you feel?
I've been randomly tested. I was randomly tested in that specific fact situation for 15 years as a
No, that
taxpayer in
wasn't
Louisiana.
randomly tested. You said every job that you went on back then that you were tested.
I
So
was randomly
everybody was tested. How did you feel? Didn't you feel unfair, unjust?
I felt it was okay. I had no problem with it.
But you felt it was okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So in other words, you're saying right now it's okay for you to be tested for drugs for a member of the House?
I would have no problem with that.
You keep saying you wouldn't have no problem, but you're not saying yes or no. It's a yes or no question.
I think it's okay. I think any time that you prevent any type of abuse, not only illicit
But I'm
drug use,
talking about
but
the
the use
ones
of
who are
taxpayers' money
not being
for illicit
abusive. I'm
purposes,
talking about the
I think
ones
that's
who
a
are
good
not
thing.
taking drugs or using drugs. I'm talking about those persons who are living an upstanding life. They are Christians. They are going to church. They are going to work. They are raising their families. And you want to test them for drugs? I think it's unfair. Did you know?
Representative Norton, we're out of time. We're going to need to move on to amendments soon. Can you begin to wrap it up?
Answer the question.
I did not think it was unfair when I was asked to do that specific thing, the hundreds of times I was asked to do it.
But you wasn't getting government assistance. You
No,
were
ma'am, I was
going to work and you were working on a job.
No,
that
ma'am, you're right.
required
I was
that.
working.
So I don't believe that we should be utilizing our efforts here in the House to utilize our time to test people who are not on drugs, to try to find somebody who's on drugs. And not only that, but utilizing the business of the state are behind $150 to $199. Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Representative
Mr.
Norton.
Mack.
Let's take
Thank
up
you.
amendments, Mr. Clerk.